Welcome to episode 15 of the All Drive No Drop podcast. Jacob here from All Drive No Drop and David from Tickle My Pickleball. What is going on, David? How are you doing tonight?
Doing good, man. Hit a lot of paddles this week, and a lot of news happened actually. So excited to talk about it this week.
Let's go. Yeah, last week news dropped, this week news dropped. We're just getting a lot of good stuff going on. I mean, I don't know if we should say good, but there's a lot of news stuff, but just good for the podcast because it gives us something to talk about. I know from one of the videos I made earlier, it's definitely a controversial topic, so I'm sure there will be a lot of comments in both directions. I think I've narrowed it down. If you have a Yola, you're not a fan. If you don't have a Yola, then you are a fan. I think that's pretty much what it boils down to.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got some good stuff going on today. We're going to recap that whole drama with USAP ban list, and then we are going to compare our best paddles list. I think by the time this podcast is out, David's video should be out too. So
yes,
these were not spoilers. And then we'll talk about some of the paddles we've been hitting. A lot of stuff. I thought things were going to kind of slow down, and I guess they kind of did. But like January, February, we got a ton of stuff coming.
Yeah, my recycling bin was not happy.
Oh man, between Christmas and all the paddles I got, oof, it was my stuff goes on Tuesday, so I'm gonna have a lot of stuff out there for the guys. So.
It's like Amazon and then paddle deliveries. That's us right now.
It's like I think it's pretty much every week I'm getting stuff for like paddles. So and sometimes it all decides to come at once, and then it really bunches up. But completely irrelevant to the everything else I just said. But I'll just say it because I'm really excited. I found out a pickleball facility is going to open up probably like 3 minutes from me. And I know the guy who is opening it. I just met him this summer. So that I don't want to say his name just in case he isn't telling people right now. But like I'm pretty excited about it to get I know the owner, and there's the closest place to me is like 20 minutes away, and the place I go to now is about 30. So it's going to be huge for me next winter. And I'm sure I'm going to be there in like the spring, summer too, because we don't have anywhere with lights. So being able, and obviously, if it's raining or just having a private court that's going to be air conditioned, that's going to be huge. So really excited about that, having an indoor place that's going to open like super close to me. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
How far away is your indoor facility?
Mine is 30 minutes from me.
Okay, so you're kind of in the same boat where it's like,
there are closer ones, honestly, but it's just because the people I play with go to that one. So
same with me. Like, there's one that's closer, but not that much closer. And it's like the people I play with are at the other one. And this is just like, this is going to be awesome. Like, it's really strange, too, because where I'm at, the first indoor courts in Michigan, or outdoor courts in Michigan, opened in my city. Like maybe 15 years ago. But no one ever built an indoor facility to go with those indoor courts or outdoor courts. Sorry. So it's very interesting. It's taken so long for my area to get an indoor facility, but it's coming. So going to be
really exciting. Yeah.
And he's got some great ideas too. So hopefully we can share more about that as it comes along, and we'll see what happens. But first up, let's talk about the USAP banning of the paddles here. This is a long time coming. We've kind of had rumors that there are going to be some paddles that didn't pass this new PB core testing. And just in case you haven't heard the news, the Yola Perseus mods are going to be on that ban list, and this is all going into effect July 1st, 2025. So you don't have to worry about this unless you're playing USAP sanctioned tournaments or tournaments that follow USAP certification. If you're just a rec player and you never play tournaments, you really don't need to worry about this unless people get crazy with the policing of the paddles, which I doubt. Like people have been playing with the Gen 3S, and those aren't USAP approved, and I haven't really heard anyone say anything about it. So here, I'll just read down the list real quick. Yola Perseus mods, 14 and 16 millimeter. No one's surprised about that. That's the top pick. Gearbox Pro Power, elongated. I think everyone knew that was going to be on the list. Then the big surprises, which Yeah, this one really just came out of nowhere. All the Pro Kennex Black Aces. So there's
Yeah.
four different ones. They're basically just different variations, handle length, whatever. So all the Pro Kennex Black Aces are going to be banned, and those have been out for what, probably almost 3 years by now, um, maybe 2.5 years. But they've
Wait,
been
is this
out
the
for
old ones that got banned?
the Pro Kennex Black Ace, then the Black Ace LG. So all the Black Ace, I think includes like a white version, and then
Oh,
yeah, so
I
all
didn't know
all
that.
four variations of the Black Ace,
I don't know
which
why I thought it was like they're because aren't they coming out with like a new Black Ace lineup or something?
yeah, I don't know what that's called. That is out already, but I think it's like an exclusive through Pickleball Central. Those ones are
Uh,
fine. It's just the old
oh,
ones. Yeah.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so it's weird, and I think that I it really confuses me. Like, and also like you would think now would have been a great time for them to address the ripple issue as well, which they just
Yeah, I was
continue.
surprised the Ripple was not
Like,
on there.
how do you not? How do you not just address the issue like in that? And you're already getting all the heat. Why not just if you either put the ripple on there or say like the ripple pass? Like, just give some clarification. But why would you do something so simple? Um, but yeah, so I think this test, I already think this test is like a flawed test with the Black Aces on there because I think it's not measuring like full end power. Because I have the Black Ace, it's not, it has a ton of pop, but it's not a power paddle. Like serving and like driving and overheads with that thing are not great. Like I would have put it at like average to below average for like power, like full power swing. Have you played with the
Interesting.
Black Ace lately?
I
Or
have not, but I've like I hit against someone that was using one in like a
yeah.
tournament. I think we were
Hmm.
just warming up, and he was using a carbon 1X, and then it was like either that or a Black Ace. He was trying to figure out which one he wanted to use, and I was hitting
Okay.
against him. And like the Black Ace, I could tell like it hit when he was hitting it with it. It was harder than his carbon.
Okay.
So that was basically my only experience with it. But I mean, I
Gotcha.
always thought it was like, oh, it's stronger than a Gen 2, but I don't know like if that's not the case. At
Yeah,
least that like the depth was a lot deeper when he was hitting his
I
shots.
got you. Yeah, it's interesting because I mean like I've seen different things on it and like you really don't see the paddle that much anymore. You did see it for a while. So I mean, like this one probably doesn't have as many fans that are gonna care because you just don't see many people with it. But I do know some people that like have only used that for like the past 2 years, so it does seem to have some hardcore fans. I
Mm.
just don't, I think the test might not be measuring things correctly, or I mean, obviously all these different like power tests are gonna have different flaws and can be gamed in some way.
Mm.
But I'm a little worried that it's not going to be uh, as they intended. But we'll see. We'll see. It's definitely strange that that was on there, and you know, it's there's other harder hitting paddles that aren't on there. No, I mean, I think the mod and the Gearbox Pro Power, obviously the hardest hitting ones, um, besides the Ripple, which
Mhm.
isn't on there, but there's some harder hitting ones than the Black Ace. So we'll see. We'll see. Um, anything else you were surprised wasn't on the list besides the Ripples?
Yeah, I think Ripple is a big one, and that just gets me thinking about like the paddles that are coming out next year. Specifically like 11.624, like their paddles.
Hmm.
I know you haven't hit them yet, but I think they might be more powerful than the mods, at least like from my experience with them.
Really?
So I'm kind of curious about like their approval. And then there was another power paddle I hit from a company. I can't say the name, but this one was even hotter than the 11.624 paddles because I've had more time with it.
Yeah.
And like it was to the point where like I hit one drive and everyone looked at me and goes, "What paddle is that?" I was like, "I can't say." They're like, "Is that even legal?" I was like, "It's a prototype, but yeah, like I can't say." And
So
immediately,
did the 11.624 paddles like break in over time, or was it just kind of been stayed the same?
honestly, I think they've stayed the same for me because
Okay.
like they don't pocket the ball, but they have like a stiff feel to them. Like the ball just shoots off, like especially on like the vapor and the Hirachi shapes.
See. Yeah. I mean, and I think he got his number for his PB core testing, right? I think I saw that he actually got the results. Did you see that?
Mhm.
Okay. So he should be good. I mean, but that goes back to like why I think the testing might be flawed. It's like you ban the Black Ace, which is not even close to the power level of the Gearbox Pro Power and the Perseus mods, but so that kind of leads me to believe like something else could sneak through, and maybe the Ripple did sneak through and
Mm.
is fine still. Like we don't know, and that would really make me wonder. Like, okay, you ban all these other ones, but you ban the Ripple, and
Yeah.
you're gonna let other power paddles that are pretty close to that limit or maybe over. I don't. So that will be interesting to see. I assume that's all the paddles that are going to be on the list, right? Like if you're going to release the list when you have just done it all at once, I
Yeah.
I would, but maybe they won't. I don't know. You you think there's more to come, or that's
I
probably the
honestly feel
most?
like one of these like knockoff Chinese brands could sneak by. Like,
Oh yeah, they're probably the thing is they have so many approved brands. Uh, I guess there's not really a way for them to go back and test them all, right?
and like I don't think they care to unless like someone says something.
Yeah, and they're just selling it on Amazon. They'll continue to say USAP approved and show the picture, and then honestly, the people buying them probably will never know, and
Yeah.
no one. I mean, so who? Yeah, I don't know. No one might ever know, and we'll just talk about it if we see one. I don't see. Do you see many people with them? I think I only seen like one recently of like someone playing with like a Chinese knockoff, not even a knockoff brand, just like a random Amazon Chinese brand.
The only person I see doing that is me. So
Oh, okay. Well, I guess if you're looking in the mirror, you might see them every
yeah.
day.
I say when I watch my replay, people are like, "What paddle is that?" I was like, "Yeah, it's this thing from China. I got just kind of testing it out. It's supposed to be a knockoff of the Yola." And then they're like, "Oh, which one?" Like the mods. There's a lot of these, and
You-
like usually people try them. They're like, "It's not like the mod." I was like, "I know."
Do you ever do a recording and then like you forget to like kind of show the paddle close up and you just forget like what paddle it is and you're like I don't know if I can even tell what paddle that is, or does that
Ah,
just happen to me?
that's probably a you thing. I
Or
don't
is,
think it's happened
all
to
right,
me.
it's happened. It hasn't happened to me lately, but it definitely has happened to me where I'm like, I don't even remember which paddle this is. Uh, all right. So one other thing, I guess. I think Yola has a new line of paddles coming out in March, and they're going to offer a 50% discount to everyone that's purchased a mod or Gen 3S for their new paddles. I don't
Mhm.
know what the time frame on that is exactly, like if you bought it within the last whatever amount of time, but that's pretty cool. So if you're looking to continue down that Yola line, and I think this is going to have dual certification as their goal. So should just kind of like take care of the issue and moving forward. I think if they got dual certification with their new paddle lineup, they'll be good for the year. I think it should just be.
Yeah, that's a random question on this. Like, how do they tell if you bought one? Like, does it have to be through Yola, or can it be like through a third-party vendor?
Yeah, that's another thing I'm wondering because there's a ton of people that buy through ambassadors. I think everyone I know locally buys through this one guy because he just gets the best deals. So I don't know how that's going to work exactly, but
Like, do they like register their paddle when they get? I know some brands do that.
yeah. So Yola has that chip that you
Okay.
scan. So maybe that's how they know. That's probably how you. That's probably it. They
Okay.
have. That's how they get their warranty. Like it has a. I forgot what the name of the chip is, but you can register your warranty through with the paddle. So should be
Got it.
probably an easy process. Um, so next up, we'll talk about our best paddle list comparison here. Your wide bodies, you had the Monarch All Court, the ISO Ryu, and the Neonic Flow Prime X. And this
Flare.
was just Neonic
Yes.
Flare Prime X.
Yes.
What did I say? Flow?
Yeah.
My bad. Neonic Flare. I even wrote Flow, so there you go. Flare. So these are the wide bodies.
Yeah.
Did you just kind of went with like your top three? It wasn't like in any category of like control, power, all court. You're just going your top
The
three.
yeah, I think I wasn't really doing like general awards. It's
Okay.
mostly like I was just kind of doing these are my favorite paddles of the year. And like this is my top three wide
I
bodies. So
like it. I like it. So I had the Neonic Flare Prime X in there as an honorable mention. Definitely think that was a really good paddle. I had the ESQ, the Paddletech ESQ 12.7 beating it, but I had that right behind, and honestly, it might be a better paddle for like a majority of people.
mm,
ISO Ryu, I didn't, or Ryu. I'm gonna just
yeah.
call it. I feel like Ryu sounds better, but it's okay. I didn't have enough time to like get this on my list, but I think it might be the best I don't know if it's the best option under 100, but it's really close to being up there for one of the better options under 100. Like honestly, now if someone asked me to get a wide body under 100, I think I would recommend them to get this instead of the Jelly Bean, just because I think that they might end up being unhappy with like the power level, and the Ryu would help solve that issue. Is that why you put it there over like the Jelly Bean? Or I guess you have that all court, but you're thinking like this just has more power, more pop.
Yeah, because it was more of like a personal preference for me. So like, because the list wasn't mainly like, oh, this is
you're not taking money into account, right? Or price.
Yeah, I didn't take price into account, but I chose this one just because honestly I was playing really well with it, and like last league playoffs I did, I was playing with the Pegasus power. And like first game did not play well. Switched to the Ryu, won the next game. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna stick with this for the rest of the playoffs. But yeah, I feel like I just play well with it. And price aside, I still think it's like a great paddle. Like it's like a better Spartus Apollo in my opinion. Like if you just want a bit more power to it, like I honestly recommend this over the Apollo, even if they were the same price.
Yeah.
But I just like really like the paddle, and it conveniently is $90. So this is a nice thing.
I think I have mine right here in case anyone doesn't know what it looks like. Look, I like the looks on this thing too. Obviously, it stands out. Maybe it's not for everyone, but I think it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then obviously I really like the Monarch All Court. I think I had it on my like best summer list. I can't remember now. Or I had it on the best wide bodies. Only reason I didn't put it on there was because they're changing their construction for their all courts, and I was just like I didn't want to put it on there just because they're not going to sell it anymore. But the new all court might be even better, so can't argue with that. The hybrids, I think we kind of lined up here pretty similarly. The Olympus, the Saga Flash from Vatic, both I had on my list. Awesome paddles. I mean, the Olympus is still one of my mains, so of course I'm right there with you. Shapeshifter, I had the Shapeshifter SX for my wide bodies. I think that HX definitely just an awesome paddle too. So I agree with that Shapeshifter call on there. I also had the Invader in there for like best control, and of course I had the J2K for best all court. I know you're not as much of a hybrid fan, and you're probably the one person out there that's not a J2K hater. Not a J2K hater. Guys, calm down. Get the pitchforks. Put the pitchforks away.
Yeah.
Put them away.
I've already got enough comments, all right.
He's just he's not the number one fan. He's not the number one fan of the J2K. It's okay. It's allowed.
Yeah, I think I've like mentioned in the video, like I think it's probably the best all court-ish option, and like one of the best hybrids for like the majority of players out there, but I just don't connect with it.
Got you. No, that's fair. And it's like we can't connect with every paddle. So, you know what? If you're gonna have a take against everyone, I think it's good. That shows, you're not just copying.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good.
I didn't copy Chris's list.
Yeah. So elongated Shogun you had on there. I had the Shogun too. V7 Saga. I also had that. Both just excellent paddles, and then you had the Luz Luz, right? Luz.
Yeah, I think it's Luz.
Archer. I never hit that. Just remind us, like, what would you like about that one?
It's honestly like a pulse. So you're like the Pickleball Apes pulse, but elongated, and it has like a curved top. Okay. So it was basically, it's like a lot like the pulse, but just in the shape that the pulse series doesn't have. And the twist weight is surprisingly really high for an elongated paddle with a curved top, 6.85. And then swing weight was like 115, 116 as well. Even their flat top options, they're like swing weight I think it was like 120 and 122 for the two of them. And then one was like 6.7 twist weight. The other one was like 7.2, which is like extremely high for an elongated paddle. But like all three of them played really, really well. And they also break in like the pulse. So the curved top one, I've just been playing better with just because it's a bit more maneuverable. And I added some like tape on the sides for that one. But I've just been playing really well with it. it's broken in, and I'm still playing well. Like it hasn't like gotten to the point where it's too hot, but I like the paddle a lot so far right now.
Nice. So you break that one out like for your men's league and stuff, or
Yeah, I
sometimes?
busted it out like I was using Olympus actually, and I played like absolute garbage. All my counters were just like way too hot, and then I switched. I was like, I need something slightly underneath in power, and I just kind of picked this one up, and I just like smoked the next two matches. Like we played the number 2 seed, and we came out to like a 10-0 lead, and they're just like, you were just playing so bad 5 minutes ago. What happened to you?
I know it's nice to have like different options. You're like, oh, I need a little softer on this paddle now, and then like I have the same thing. Like sometimes I'm like, man, the power paddle is feeling great and it's just working, and then sometimes I'm like, I need something toned down.
And it's
Maybe
like
it's just
such a
like
gamble too, because it's like, do I keep with it and maybe connect later, or do I switch? So
I'll just switch. I'm like if it's not working, it can't get much worse. I'm like it's already not working. I'll switch it. But yeah, it is. Sometimes if you like switched and then it was still not what's going well, they'll be
it's
like,
like, then
"Why'd you
it's me.
switch?" Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, now I just suck. I look even worse now.
um, and then you had I should have done these too, like best edgeless, best control, best all court, best power, and best close. So best edgeless, you had the Diadem Infinity. Was this the max or the elongated one, or
I just
both?
gave it to their whole
Both,
series,
both the
but
whole series.
yeah,
Yeah, and then the Holbrook Arrow uh, series, I guess. But
yeah,
did you ever get to a chance to do the wide body of the Diadem Infinity Max? Did you get any
I did.
experience?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
what'd you think about that? Did you get more power out of that than the elongated, or am I crazy?
I don't remember honestly.
Okay.
I actually only hit it like on the Dinkmaster for a little
Oh,
bit,
okay.
so
Yeah,
I
it'd be
didn't hit
hard
the
to
inside
hard to
outside.
tell on that. But yeah, obviously we talked about I think last episode or before. We're not like huge edgeless fans, but if you're an edgeless player, those are pretty good options.
Yeah, I would say
Uh,
like the diadem, like that one has the most potential. I think like this iteration, it's good, but
mhm.
I think they have the most potential to do better. And then I think I said I give the award to Enhance mainly to the Banger just because it was like the cheapest one and it's very similar to the Holbrook Arrow. They both have that built-in internal weighting, and
Well, you want? Did you play? You want to talk about the banger now, or you
yeah,
want
I
to
can
do
talk
it
about
here?
it.
Yeah, I haven't still haven't hit mine, but
Yeah, I think I got like I want to say like 115 swing weight, and twist weight actually got like 6.25. Um, and I know when I was talking to the guy, he mentioned that they have like internal weighting, and it's just like really similar to what Holbrook does with the Aero series. So as I was messaging him, I was like, well, I'm pretty sure this is gonna play like the Holbrook Aero. But you're also like what, 40, $50 cheaper, which is, you know, still pretty good. But surprisingly, that's a pretty good twist weight, especially because considering it's edgeless and 14 millimeters. But you know, it's like I think it's funny about the way they do their naming. So like they call this the Banger, and then they also call their elongated one the Sweet Spot Pro. I would have called their wide body the Sweet Spot Pro. I wouldn't call this the Banger. It's not a power paddle. Like if you're expecting it to play like a gearbox PPE, it's not that. It's, you know, it's got more pop than the average Gen 2, but it's not as powerful as one, obviously, because it's edgeless. So
yeah. I my take on the naming is I think they have a very successful YouTube channel, and I think they're thinking in terms of like keyword search and like good titles. I think
props to
that's
them. Great
yeah,
mark.
I know. I think that's just why they named it the way they did.
Yeah.
That's what I'm assuming. They do they they might be what are they? I don't know if they're the biggest pickleball YouTube channel. They might be. They might be the biggest channel. They
I
got
thought it was, is it that pickleball guy bigger? I don't
Is
know.
he? I don't know. They're in. I think they're at like 200K subscribers. I don't know what
Oh,
that pickleball guy's at now. They're when I first heard about Enhance and saw it, I was surprised. I'm like, wow, they're way bigger than I thought.
I mean, they taught me how to hit a third shot drop, so I literally watched their
Yeah,
video when I started.
Connor over there is doing great. He
Yeah.
has great lessons, makes it fun. So uh, go check them out if you haven't. I'm sure you have. You've
Oh
seen
yeah.
them though. Like
I
I
learned how
don't
to
know how
play
you
from
could have
them.
seen Enhanced Pickleball by now. If you're here, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure you've seen them. Um, uh, Best control, you had the Prism from Vatic
Yeah.
Pro. No surprise there.
I just
Best
like the
all.
shapes better than the jelly beans.
Yeah,
That's personal preference.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Best all court, you had the Shogun from
Mhm.
Bread and Butter.
Yep.
Great paddle there. Best power, you did the Neonic Flare Prime X.
Yep.
I'm surprised you didn't go with the Spartus Olympus. What was the decision path there?
I am playing better with the Flare than the Olympus, because it
Fair
was a
enough.
personal choice. I was like,
All right.
I gotta drop the Olympus for this one.
Hey, that it is your personal list.
Yeah.
I respect that. And then best clothes, the Beatnik. Did you wear the Beatniks on the podcast yet before? I can't remember.
Yeah, I wore that hoodie they had. I was actually wearing it
Okay.
yesterday when I was shooting the video for the top paddles of the year. But
Okay.
that's like my favorite hoodie right now, even though
Okay.
it's not mine anymore. It's my wife's. She took it
Okay.
from me.
All right. Check out his best paddles video to see his Beatnik hoodie.
Yeah. I
um,
should have showed it off more, because like the material itself just feels so nice and the pockets are nice. Like everything about it is like good.
oh yeah, since I'm kind of sitting lower, let's go St. Brown tomorrow. Detroit Lions. We got to get that 1 seed locked up. Although we need 2 wins, so uh, Beatnik. You know what? I have the hoodie. I just don't know where it went, and I did like it. I
I
don't.
think
I
your
got.
wife has it.
She probably does.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see what's going on there. You know that sucks. I can't steal any of her clothes. But she can steal all of mine.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. I think that's all the paddles that from the best of list. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about on the list? Did you want to talk about my biggest snub or your biggest snub?
Yeah,
I'm trying.
my thing on your list was, I was surprised you chose the ESQ over the Flare Prime X.
So I just played a lot better with the ESQ 12.7 than the Flare Prime X. Something and sometimes I don't always play super well with like really poppy paddles. It seems to be like a hit or miss for me. Uh, you know, Thinking about like the ripples or the mods, but like the ESQ 12.7, I think it's like if I have a really poppy paddle, I need it in the wide body shape for me
Mhm.
to play really well with it. If it's
That's me too as well. Yeah.
extremely poppy, I think it helps to have it in the wide body shape for me. And I just played really well with it. Like I was debating playing with that in the tournament, but then I ended up playing with the Ripple instead, just because I thought it was gonna come out. They got me again, but that was like 2 months ago. But yeah, I really loved it, and I still, obviously still bring it out because people always ask about it compared to other paddles. So it was not a close decision for me there. I don't really have any like super close decisions. When I was looking at the elongated paddles though, I realized it wasn't really a great elongated paddle year.
It wasn't, yeah.
So that was probably the hardest one to fill out the list. It just was not the year of the elongated paddles. It was a lot of hybrids, a lot of wide bodies, and elongateds are definitely trending downwards. But sorry for all those elongated fans.
Yeah. I would say 2024 was like a big wide body push. I would say the Mach 2.4s really pushed that.
Yeah, Mach 2 Forza started it all off, and honestly, still a great control paddle. I just think it just like lacks the power now, and I'm surprised Volair is like so active in the scene, but they really just aren't doing anything with their paddles. Like they took a year to come out with just a Kevlar version of their Mach 2 and Mach 1 Forza, and but they spend a ton of money on advertising. They got all these influencers, and they just don't make new paddles. I don't know. It's an interesting strategy.
Mhm.
Just thinking about it, but you know what? Super nice guy over there. Why am I forgetting his name? Ryan. Ryan at Full Air. That's his name, right? Sounds right.
Yeah. We'll go
I'm
with
sure.
it.
Hey, if you're watching,
Yeah,
let me know. I'm pretty sure it's Ryan.
unless
I
you
don't
can
know what.
edit in the post production.
I won't even edit it out. I'm pretty sure his name's Ryan. I don't know why I'm blanking on that right now. One of the first guys I talked to when I started doing reviews on YouTube too. So, uh, anyway, anything else on the list you wanted to talk about? The very
I
best
did have
paddles.
some honorable mentions actually.
Yeah, shout them out.
Yeah. Wide bodies. Pulse Apes V was one of mine. Honestly, like I hit it once. I really liked it, but I've only hit this once. I can't put this on the list. So
Just
I'll
not a
just give you
purple
one.
guy.
Oh no, I got it late because
Okay.
I got the the V was out of stock when he was sending me the paddle, so I only had the S and the E, and the V didn't come until a few weeks ago. So I was like, it's not going to make the list, but
Yeah.
I still think it could probably make it.
Yeah.
Hybrids, Supercourt. I'll probably talk about that later, but
Okay.
I mean, technically it wasn't released yet, but I mean that was pretty good.
Well, it's still not released.
Yeah. What else did I have there? I think that was Invader. Actually, I actually really like that one, surprisingly. And then elongated. I had the Gherkin. It was really close between the Gherkin Aspire and the Shogun. And if I factored it in price, I would have put the Aspire in because that thing's only $90 after a code. But I was like, if I had to pick one blindly, it was gonna be the Shogun.
Would you say the Gherkin Aspire is the best paddle under $100 for an elongated?
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely.
Gherkin's gonna clip that. Anyway.
I mean, there are a lot of ones like it, but because I really like the Vatic V7 shape, basically like a 5.3-inch handle, and then the elongated because it's a bit more stable at the bottom, and that's what the elongated shape lacks. So you get that reach and you get that power, but you get a bit more stability at the bottom. And I'm so comfortable hitting that two-hander with that 5.3-inch handle. So I personally like that over something like the Centurion, which is like a 5.5-inch handle for Spartus.
Yeah. That's interesting. I feel the same way, and we will talk about a paddle coming up that went with that longer handle that had the shorter handle. I think that losing that paddle face on the bottom, when you lose that stability and more paddle face, for me, I think it's a downfall because I also put two hands on there fine. My two is still not really the best. Sometimes it can be good, so it's like, I'd rather not give up the paddle face so I could put two hands all the way on the handle. But
Gotcha.
Yeah, the super. Well, how about we just transition into talking about the Supercourts now, since
let's do it.
they aren't even out yet, but they're coming out soon, and they probably could have made the list, honestly, but just didn't come out yet.
Yeah.
Really, really good paddles come in all three shapes: wide body, hybrid, elongated. New paddles from Chorus. Kind of going to slot in between their shapeshifters and fire paddles for like pop and power. And they're fun. I've played with the hybrid shape and the elongated shape, and I like them quite a bit. I like the looks too. Can you hold that like the center of the screen? Yeah. So it got the brown handle, or you got it over grip probably, but it has a brown handle. I didn't even bring any of mine. I don't know what I'm doing. But they look nice, look really clean, and the hybrid has quite a good combination of power and pop. For me, it felt like it was like, it's not like the Olympus, but it's like a little bit toned down for people that don't want like too much pop, but like they will still want enough pop and power to play really aggressive. It's a fun one, and gets really, really good spin too. From what I was like, pretty gritty, and yeah, I'll let you talk about it too. It was I had a blast playing with it.
Yeah, it's like, so it's supposed to be like that CFC surface. So I actually thought I was going to play like the 11624 paddles, but honestly, like if they didn't say it was CFC, I thought I would have assumed the fiberglass paddle because it is very poppy. It's like when you hit that sweet spot, I was hitting the elongated one more, but in the hybrids, when you hit that sweet spot, like it has like a louder sound compared to the 1164 paddle. I think it's more powerful and poppy compared to that. And I would say like I want to hit the 60 Black Diamond again and like just kind of compare the two side by side. Yeah. I feel like that's like a fair comparison.
Yeah, it's interesting, especially on some swinging volleys and overheads. I really felt I could access a lot more power than, say, like, obviously the shapeshifter.
Yeah.
But I really felt it just like launch off the paddle, and the result, just watching how fast the ball went, I was like, yeah, this is going to be a good one for people that like to play with an all court leaning power, I guess. Like I feel like it's such a broad range of saying like all court, because everyone's saying like everything's all court, but it's like pretty you could almost call it an intro power paddle, like for a Gen 2, I would say. It's really good. It's fun.
Yeah, would you say you like it better than the Course Fires?
Yes, I like it better than the Course Fires. Yeah. I think I mean, I guess I should get more time, but like right off the bat, I think it's my favorite of their series. Like,
Okay.
it's you know, it's nice. I like it.
Yeah, that's why I had it in my honorable mention was because like the shapeshifter is right now my favorite, but like
Hmm.
after I've only hit the super core for 1 day, and I was like, this
Yeah,
could shake it up if I get more time with it.
yeah, it's good. I really do like it. I like their hybrid shape, and I like their wide body shape. I have still haven't really been. Man, elongateds for me. Just I haven't been playing well with them lately, so that's kind of like just it's just not there. But that's on me. I gotta go like for some reason elongated. It's like now it's like I just need to only play with elongated. I think just because most hybrids are now closer to wide bodies, like they're usually like 16.2.
Yeah,
So you're getting farther away from the elongateds, where they're usually 16.5.
yeah,
So I'll probably just do like an all elongated week or something and
yeah.
see
That's
what
basically
see
what I
what
had to do
yeah
this past week.
see what we can do. And then they have they also are going to release the Echoes,
Yeah, I've
which
got this one too.
are going to be under $100 after code. So those are going to be like their control paddles, so
Yeah,
even softer than the shapeshifters. So they're going to have a lineup of control, two different like all court styles, and then their power paddles in all the shapes. So they're going to have everything that you could be looking for, which is pretty cool. Have you played a little bit with the Echo?
yeah, it's like noticeably softer compared to
Yeah.
like especially the super core, but like even
Hmm.
compared to like the shapeshifter.
Okay.
It's a solid paddle. Like if you want something like
Yeah.
more on the control side, but it's actually really cool. I think like they're probably the biggest competitor, honestly, to 1164 because 1164 is doing that whole like matrix of like jelly bean, all court, power, three different shapes, and now they're doing something similar where they have like the echo, shape drifter, super court, fire, three different shapes. So
Yeah. Well, it's interesting too because they only had just one paddle, one shape at first, and 11624 has had the wide body and elongated. But then Course has kind of lapped them. They have all the shapes, and now they have
yeah,
all the lineups. And 11624 is kind of taking a long time to like get their stuff out. It still isn't officially out. I don't think maybe February. So they're kind of it's kind of they're definitely similar companies and like they're doing the similar matrices, but it's interesting how Chorus kind of like went right by them and is like, well, I'm going to get everything out.
yeah. Well,
But
I guess to be fair, like these course paddles don't come out till like February too.
that's true. That's true. Uh, well, the fires came out already though.
Yeah, the fires are
But
out.
yeah, I mean also I think it's January or February. All the factories in China shut down for like a month.
Oh,
Uh,
right,
so
yeah.
we had this issue last year with the Spartus
Yeah,
Apollo. It got
yeah,
delayed for a month because all the factories shut down. Was it Chinese New Year they shut down for,
yeah,
I
the lunar
believe,
year, yeah.
or lunar? Yeah. So keep that in mind. We could expect delays, or like if paddles sell out in January or February, you could expect like a month delay. I think this actually happened with Legacy Pro way back in the day too.
Oh yeah.
I believe that's. I don't think they said that was the issue, but I think that was the issue. So keep in mind those factories will be shut down for like 3 weeks to a month, and everything just comes to a halt. You got what you got. So good for them. Sounds like a good time to take a break for a month. I would join in.
Yeah.
Uh, a and you wanted to talk about the AMA Next Max.
Yeah, so
Uh,
I think I talked about the NXT like at a previous episode. Basically that one was supposed to be a Yola clone. It had like the hyperfoam edge wall, and even in the graphics it had like the whole trampoline effect going on, but that paddle was honestly garbage. It was just like super stiff, uh basically just a Gen 2. And then this one they just sent me, it has what they call like the Hive technology. So it still has the double edge foam wall, but now they have foam filled cells. I don't know if it's like the Spartus one or like I think the other ones like Cortec and Nexus have like the foam filled cells. So it has like both of those, and surprisingly, like I didn't have high expectations. I was like, did you just send me this image? And then like the paddle's gonna be crap, but it's actually pretty good. I've only hit it for like one game, but it's pretty powerful. It has a pretty good feel to it, and like I'm actually pretty looking forward to hitting this. But I will say I don't know if AMA is a real company or if this paddle is actually approved. I do need to look that up and get back to you guys on that. But if it is an approved paddle, this actually could be like a really solid option. So
Yeah, that's interesting. Do you know the pricing on that, or is it not out yet?
I remember when I was looking up the pricing of the previous AMA NXT, it went to Alibaba. Like they don't even have a website. So I think if they do have a website, it's like a factory website. So I don't
It's not on
know.
Amazon though.
Some of them are on Amazon, but like I
Okay.
don't think this one is.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
yeah.
All right. Well, we'll keep a lookout for that. I
Yeah.
had contact with them before, but I think I lost it, or I don't know what happened. We'll see. It is interesting. We'll see if it's actually real approved, or they just throw the stamp on there. Because I think there's a ton of companies throwing their USAP stamp on the paddle, but they're not approved. I mean,
Mhm.
and I guess for them, it's like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna come after them or not? I don't know. If so many companies do it, they probably can't come after them all. But I don't know. That's It's probably not a good thing. And then you wanted to talk a little bit about the 11.624 paddles. I guess we kind of have talked
I think
about
we
it.
kind of have it. I
Yeah,
think
I
we can
guess.
skip past this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess we have. Um, and then I got some stuff here. So I got this ethos. Sorry, it's my first ethos paddle. It's an ethos Durna. Dude, this is hard to read. Okay, I'm gonna say it's an ethos Durnamis Pro 16 millimeter Ari late carbon. I haven't hit this yet. Actually, I think I kind of like the shape.
Looks like a
Definitely has.
shield.
It's a unique wide body shape.
Yeah.
I think I do like it. Looks interesting. So we'll check this out. First time checking out the Ethos paddle. I've actually seen a few people with the Durnamis, which I was surprised.
And is this like a new surface or something on it, or is this the
Yeah,
original?
you know what? I don't. It's an it's art Ari. I don't know what that means. I
Because the
forgot.
pattern, based on what I can see through the camera, kind of looks like
Yeah,
it's like a checkered or bit.
yeah. It is checkered, so I don't know. I have to double check on that. I don't think they told me. I'll have to double check on that.
Okay.
I just got that today, so like I haven't really looked in it. And then I'm gonna try out their Hesicor alternative grip, like their paddle grip.
Mm.
So we'll check that out. Uh, I'm not really like a Hesicor guy,
Yeah, me
uh,
neither.
but we'll check this out and we'll see. I know people that use it are like all about it, but I don't like using so many paddles. I just don't have time to take it off and on. Like you would, and those grips get expensive too. So I think they're like $20 a Hesicor or
Oh
something. And
wow.
I'm not buying 100 of those and
Yeah.
messing around with it. We got some new Honolulu paddles. They have quite a bit of stuff coming out. Uh, the J2. Well, yeah, we'll show the ones I haven't hit. It's the J4K, which is like the pizza pan.
Oh
This is an
yeah.
extra wide body. I think 8.4, if I remember. I don't remember correctly.
I didn't look at it, but
It's wide,
yeah.
super wide. Do I have? I don't know if I have the Honolulu. What I have the
The J3.
J3. Yeah, I have the J3 right here. There you go. So here's the J3. You can kind of see the edge guard
Oh,
poking out
that's a
here,
very like flat
but
taper
you
there.
can definitely tell. Yeah, you can see that bottom like just overcoming it. And we'll
Yeah.
overlay. Yeah,
Is it shorter or what's
it
the same height?
is. Yeah, it's shorter. So here
Okay.
it is, just standing up.
Got it.
You can see this coming up above. So it's probably like say like 0.2 inches, something shorter. So that's interesting. Don't know what to make of this yet. Haven't played with it. I'm sure it's super stable.
Oh
I imagine
yeah.
like the power might be lacking though.
I got that's the highest twist weight I've measured in a paddle right now.
What'd you get?
8.3.
Jeez, this is interesting. Super. These are coming out super gritty too. Um, then the J3
No,
Ti.
I was trying to stick it to my shirt. Didn't work.
Oh, yeah.
Wrong shirt material.
Yeah, you gotta have like the Under Armour
Yeah.
stuff. J3 Ti, probably is gonna be a great control or all court leaning control.
Yeah.
Wide body looks good. I think I forgot it, but there's a J2K or J2 Ti that's gonna be gold. I know a
Mm.
lot. I think they were supposed to be coming out originally. That looks really good. So if you're looking for a gold J2 Ti, then they got the J2K, J2XK, which is basically a J2K with a longer handle. And this is kind of what I was alluding to earlier. I've played with this. It, it's good. I think I prefer the J2K to this.
Mm.
But if you are someone that wants a longer handle, I think you could probably get, it's going to have a smaller sweet spot than the J2K, but you can get a little bit more power out of it. Similar pop level, I think. But yeah, longer, just the 5 point, whatever, compared to the J2K, if that's what you're looking for. So I think they're just trying to give you more options, which is always fine.
Yeah.
But for me, J2K would still be better. And then I have been playing with the J2K plus. I don't know if I'm supposed to say it. Just keep it general. Really, really like their new power paddle coming out. I hope that's coming out soon. Really, really like it.
I guess that's another one where like I'd be curious about like their PB core numbers as well. Like how does it
Have
compare?
you hit it?
I haven't hit it, but
Okay.
that's just something kind of
Oh,
curious
just to,
about.
just to get the number and see, like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it'd be nice if we could get PB core numbers for a lot of stuff, right? Like,
Yeah.
just kind of give us a frame of reference to be like, okay, like our power testing is this, and this is how the PB core numbers line up, and we could kind of get an idea of like, is it testing more for that pop or is it testing more for that power? Because we still don't know how the testing's done and what speed the ball is being shot at the paddle. So
Yeah.
that would help. Let's see, that's all I have right now for paddles. Some other stuff coming up that I can't talk about yet with the carbon stuff. Anything else on your mind for paddles?
I guess last one I kind of hit it briefly, but they updated the Gherkins, so now they're a bit lighter.
Okay.
I don't think they play. Uh, so I just like I like their budget lineup already, and
Mm-hmm.
like this one, I mentioned it last time, but like this is all nice, but when you have a two-hander, like it kind of digs into your hand a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and it just kind of just adds some more perimeter weighting. So it just feels like you pay a bit more to have extra perimeter weighting around the paddle, and it's like it's not bad. I don't know, like maybe someone might like the look of it, but I personally would say I like their budget lineup better still.
Gotcha. That's fair. I mean, don't have to like everything, right?
Yeah.
It's it's unique. It's unique for sure.
Yeah.
But I found they were a little too head heavy for me
Yeah.
probably because of that perimeter weighting. So
Yeah.
wasn't a huge fan. But yeah, the budget lineup. I mean, it could be like the same paddle, just different edge guards, right?
Yeah,
Like
because they use that 12K carbon fiber, which is the same thing the like the Selkirk Vanguard Pro uses. So
okay,
they're pretty similar there.
nice. Um, any other paddles or news that you had for us today?
And no, I guess the next thing I'm probably gonna do is the enhanced banger.
Okay.
I feel like I've gotten most of the paddles out of the way. The big one, other than the ones that we've already talked about, at least for me, is gonna be the Honolulu ones. Like I haven't really hit the C2, the J2KC like those as much as I want
Hmm.
to. I hit them on the Dig Master, but I want to spend a bit more time with them.
Yeah.
I can see those being like really nice paddles.
Yeah. Still don't have a timeline when all that stuff is coming out either. I don't From what I understand, I don't expect it to all come out at the same time. I think it's going to be kind of like a phased launch of all this stuff. But I know the power paddle is like the top priority, so I would expect that power paddle to come out first. But I think like the J3 Ti is like pretty much ready to go, and the or whatever, not the C2, but the J2C, I think. Is that no, J2KC? Yeah, the J2KC. The
Mhm.
I know there's the letter number combinations get to me.
Yeah.
The the J2K that yeah, so I think it's the J2KC, which is basically the same paddle shape as the J2K with Kevlar, but it is thermoformed for less time, so it has a softer feel,
Yeah.
less pop, a little bit less power, but not much less power. So it's kind of like, and that's what the C2 is, the carbon fiber version, and those are going to be like a more control-oriented paddle that still has pretty good power, but has like a much softer touch, if
Yeah.
that's what you're looking for. And those are going to be budget paddles; they're going to be under 100. So
Yeah. I can see that definitely being like top contender for like control paddle for 2025.
yeah, for sure. Uh, we'll see if more people like control paddles, with all the power stuff going on. But
Yeah.
honestly, I think sometimes with like how big I swing, the control paddle would be working out better for me. Uh, just like, sometimes I'm like, man, I wish it wasn't so poppy right now, like when I'm at the net. But then other times it's like, man, if I don't have that pop and I don't have that put away power, I'm probably still losing more points if I don't have it. But, for the people beginning, I think that, in like probably like 3-5, the control paddles are going to be better. But I know it's hard to resist that
Yeah.
power. It's hard. It's hard. I know. It feels so good when you hit that sweet spot. It's just like so good right now.
Mhm.
But yeah, we got some good paddles coming up, and this is our last podcast of 2024. Uh, we started late in the year, but we went strong, and we're gonna go get it popping off in 2025 too. We're gonna have a lot of fun
Yeah.
doing some cool stuff. Uh, David's gonna come to Beer City,
Yeah.
hopefully.
I that reminds me, I need to renew my USAP membership or whatever that thing's called. USA Pickleball
Oh my
membership.
gosh.
That
Yeah.
expired.
Wait, do you think they are going to be USAP though? Because that's with MLP and PPA now.
Not you. What's that membership that you need to play in tournaments? Is
Yeah,
it
but that's
USAP?
US
Oh, that is. Oh,
USAP.
okay.
But I don't. They're
Oh,
not a USAP tournament anymore. I
oh
don't
God.
think.
Oh, I'm not gonna
Right?
renew
Because
it
they're
then.
with
Oh,
PPA
perfect.
and MLP. Yeah.
All right,
So
I'll
you
save
don't
like
need.
$20 to not
Yeah,
do
you
that.
don't. Dude, they raised the price. I had to get
Oh,
that last year for a tournament. It was $60.
no, I'm definitely
I
not
know.
getting it.
Yeah. I don't. I believe that they are no longer a USAP sanctioned tournament just because they're with MLP and PPA. So,
Oh,
you know,
perfect for me.
yeah.
I'm
But
only gonna do those next year.
I think it's just like APP tournaments, really, and like some random one-offs that are doing USAP sanctioned tournaments. Just because I don't know exactly what the point of getting your tournament sanctioned is. I don't know what value it adds. If someone knows, let me know.
Yeah.
Because I tried to tell my local tournament, I'm like, why are we getting it sanctioned? Like, what does it do?
Do they get
We
like
didn't.
the USAP refs or stuff?
We did not. I did not have a single game refed. I played
Oh,
in
wow.
the open division in men's, and there was not a single ref for any of my games. They did have refs, but none of them ref my games, and they only ref like the finals, like
Yeah.
medal rounds. I didn't make the medal rounds, obviously. It
I
wasn't
kind of figured that out.
if you figure that one out. Um, but yeah, I actually haven't had a refed game in a while. That's an interesting experience too. If you haven't had a ref game, um, it's hard to let them call the score when
So,
you
yeah.
just want to call the score and serve. Yeah, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Thank you everyone for the support this year with the podcast. I hope we can keep going strong and bring you everything you want in the next year. All the good paddle news, all the good pickleball stories, and I think we'll do some more fun topics too. So if anyone ever has any ideas, let us know. Probably can pull some good topics from Reddit. There's been some wild stuff. Reddit and the Facebook pickleball forum, man. If you ever are bored, there's some wild stories on there.
Yeah.
I don't even know what's going on. I was like, I must be missing out because I usually just go play and nothing happens. But there's some wild stories out there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm sure David has some wild stories he can tell us next time.
Yeah, we'll save that for next week.
Yeah, we'll save it for next week. David, thank you. Everyone, have a good rest of your 2024.